Hey everyone, I got a question for you. Are you a prime rib of vegetables or a chicken noodle kind of person? Yeah, life or death situation here. I think today I'm gonna go with the prime rib. Yeah. Chunky soup, we need to spice her up just a little bit. That ought to do it. Now, believe it or not, I do have a lot of experience in the kitchen. I can cook you a gourmet meal if you want, or a trailside campfire lunch if you want. That's not for today. We're just keeping it simple. Alright, I finished my lunch and I'm finally made it out to the garage. I've been battling a cold and a few other sicknesses for far too long. But I gotta put that aside. I am feeling a little bit better. But I gotta put that aside and let's do some maintenance on the Renegade. So what I just did is I took the cover off, need to inspect things, and I'm gonna put on a new belt. Alright, let's have a look in the cover here. Got a little bit of splashing that came in, not much at all. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm not surprised to see some water get in there, just a tiny amount, especially for all that water that got splashed around the last 2 good rides. Now, deflection, that's the amount of play it has in it. That seems, I don't know, I'd have to check the manual, but that might be a little bit too loose. But as far as everything else looks, a little bit of belt dust, and I mean in there it looks real good. So let's get this belt off of here and see what's what. Alright, so the next step we got to take this bolt out. Already cracked her loose. It's only 40 foot-pounds with a little bit of blue Loctite on it. So put our handy dandy tool in, spread her open. Oh, there she goes. Okay, there she goes. Like so. Let's give her a look here. This is my original belt. I changed it in the spring with another belt, and it didn't last very long. So I put this one back on, and actually I bought the Maverick belt a few months ago, and never really got around to putting it on. But this one's lived a good hard life. I had no problems with this one. And I was asking myself, why the heck did that other belt not last too long? And I really got thinking about it. My kids were using both the ATVs one weekend. They didn't actually ask to use them. Like, they can use them with some supervision. And I know they got into some muddy stuff, and I'm pretty sure what probably happened is they weren't using low gear when they should have been. That's probably what it was. Unless I had a bad belt, but I don't know. Here's the Maverick belt. In case you're wondering, the part number is 422280376. So we'll throw this on. This is made out of a harder compound, I believe, and should last a little longer. That's this one. But this one may be a little thicker. You know what? And I mean, it's just a hair taller, not much. But the fact that this one's worn right is quite worn. Maybe we'll be all right. Rotation this way. Okay, come on, bagger. Like, why am I struggling with it? Why don't I just open it some more, dummy? Ow! Hurt my finger. Loosen this. Alright, loosen her off. A couple of the threads are a little wonky on my clutch because I had a problem when I first installed it. I over torqued the bolt, snapped it right off. But now I'm just remembering that the threads are they're a little wonky. Oops. Okay. Come on, baby. Look at that. That's looking pretty good. Keep going. Oh, look at the belt deflection now. Watch this. That's tight. It is looking a little tight. So what we can do at this point, take that belt off, pull the clutch off, and we need to add a shim. So I think that might be the best way to go, because you don't want your belt to be too tight. Alright, here's a good look inside. Now what STM recommends is you got to get in there and clean out everything that had Loctite on it before. There's quite a bit in there. Check our bushing in here. That looks pretty good. Nice. Looks like this was inspected or put together by JL. Thanks, JL. So all I gotta do next is the tedious task of cleaning the Loctite off of everything and reassembling, but adding one more shim. Got a little bit of work to get the holes lined up here. Oh, I think we got her. Don't need a whole lot of Loctite. Okay, that's going in. Oh, thank goodness. That was a little bit of a task getting those lined up. A little trickier than I thought, but we got her now. The key is to make sure you got the helix on nice and even, and then we'll torque them all down. Nice. Alright, so I got them all in, I got them tight, and then I just go around one more time. Make sure they're seated properly. You certainly don't want one of these coming loose. That's how your clutch opens and closes. Right there, that's where I added the shim. So that means it can only go so tight. Yeah, buddy. Oh yeah. Remember, don't forget to put the spring back in. Now we just gotta put our cover back on. It's going down? Yes. No, it's not. Okay, I got her lined up. I can twist it to get it lined up. Thing is, you want to put these in evenly so that the bushing doesn't get jammed. You don't want her to be cockeyed. Seems to be going in alright. Let's tighten this down just a little bit more. Oh yeah. There we go. Want that to be nice and flush. Oh, it's looking pretty good. Oh yeah, that's bottomed out. Nice one. All right, got the last screw in, and we just need to torque them all down nice and snug, and then we're good to go. All right, that wasn't so bad. There's your STM Tuner Secondary put back together. Thing is, if you really just take your time, be patient, it's not that hard. If I can do it, you can do it. Alright, I got everything cleaned up. I got the secondary back on, and the final step I do before I put my belt back on is I just give the clutches a once over with some acetone. All right, we got our torqued on, everything's installed. Belt is sitting, I mean, if you might not be able to see in the camera, but it is slightly lower. And let's look at the belt deflection now. Now it definitely has a little bit more. So I'm pretty satisfied with the results. Adding one shim I think is going to be just perfect. You also got to take into account the belt is going to wear down, so I don't want it to be too wide. The only thing left to do is button everything back up and go take it for a little test burn. Definitely going to need to get a little bit of break-in hours, nice and gentle on the belt before you go hammering it. That's what everyone says. All right, I'm glad I got that important maintenance item done off my list. Most importantly, now I got a spare belt again. And I'm gonna carry that spare belt with me because I don't wanna be that guy that blows a belt and doesn't have a spare and has to borrow one from someone. Yeah, believe it or not, I've seen that happen. I mean, blowing belt is something that you should be able to avoid if you do proper maintenance and inspection. So here's something to keep in mind. When you're out there ripping with the boys, sometimes you gotta take a break. Let the belt in the machine and the clutches cool off just a little bit. So up next, I have another maintenance video I'm gonna work on in a couple days. I have a few parts to put on, a couple other things to check. Hopefully soon I'll be getting my new tail lights. So look forward for that. While you're waiting for that video, why don't you check out this awesome riding video from earlier this season. See you in the next one.